Rollin', 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 rollin' ball of yum. Of course, you can add some rum and make them rum balls, but we're making yum balls, probiotic yum balls. So what have we done in here? This is really giving your wings, just free wings. Just give your creativity free wings and just choose what you want to put in them. That's so easy. And they'll talk to you to how much that you need to put in or what you want to put in. So I just start with some soap nuts. So you can use seeds. I also use some seeds. I use things like hemp seed. I have a little selection of everything that I've got in my cupboard. I have a clean out. So I'll have like a couple of walnuts. But if you just want to use just one nut and you want to go out and buy them, just buy a little bag of walnuts. That's perfect as a base for your yum balls if you're into nuts. Otherwise, substitute it with a seed or buckwheat, whatever that you like. And then I just soak it in your kefir, and I do that overnight and then give them a rinse and they're ready to go as your base. This one's a coconut kefir, so that's what they've been soaked in. Then I had the leftover soaked dried fruit from our fruit cake. So they've been added in there as well, but you could just soak some dates, just a handful of dates, and that would be perfect. And just let them soak overnight and they'll plump all up and you'll have a nice little date syrup in there as well that you add, and that will be enough sweetness for your yum balls. That will be just plenty. Then I add a scoop of the favourite ingredient, sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is just so perfect in your yum balls. And you're going to blitz it up, so you're not going to have little chunks in there. Then you would add some cacao powder in place of like your chocolate powder. Much more healthy because we're doing yum on the tongue. So that's like your pure cacao powder. So it's a little bit bitter because that's what chocolate is. You know that chocolate is a fermented food. So it belongs to the sour family. So it's not actually sweet. You know, these chocolate that we love, well, it has additions to it. So this is just your yum balls, and they are just so beautiful. So then we add a dash of coconut oil, just pure coconut oil, like that. So we put a little dash of that in there and some coconut. And then you can put it into the fridge. You can add a little bit of green banana flour. You could add, what else you could add to that? You could add some puffed cereal. That's like some puffed buckwheat. You could put something like that in there. I mean, traditionally your yum balls are made with wheat bakes. You know, that's the base, and then mixed fruit. So it's basically the same, but you just substitute. That's how you do it. Now, beetroot and cacao, beetroot and chocolate, it's just the perfect marriage. It's a marriage made in heaven. So, I mean, you make a chocolate cake and you put beetroot in with it. That's just beautiful. So what I sometimes do, instead of putting sauerkraut in there, I put some of my fermented beetroot and even some of the brine. So that goes in there and that's just beautiful. Now, why do we put brine veggies and sauerkraut into our treats? You know why we do it? Do you know whenever you're making raw treats and you're following along with recipes, they always put a dash of salt? Because salt enhances the flavour. Same with this. It enhances the flavour, but it also gives you gut-loving goodness in these beautiful, beautiful little yum balls. Look at them, aren't they? Just the little superbos. So this really is, you just look at them and you think, oh, that's a bit runny. So I'll add a bit more coconut so that it thickens up so it comes to like easy to roll. See, it's easy to do. You don't need to follow a recipe. You can just use everything that you have, what you have in the house. You could grate an apple through it. You could grate a carrot through it. You could grate a zucchini. Zucchini is beautiful with beetroot. But you could put like a fresh zucchini with your beetroot, your fermented beetroot. Then you could pop it into the fridge before you, I didn't with these. So I put a little bit of green banana flour so that thickened it. And that's your prebiotic. The prebiotic is the fuel for our probiotics. Who would think that we had all this goodness in a little ball? See, it's just wonderful. And you can package these up and give them as gifts. And put on there what's included, what's in there, especially for anyone that can't eat nuts. So sometimes it's good to leave the nuts out. You can actually use like a nut butter in place of putting those nuts in if you've got like an activated nut butter. So much you can do. Just be creative and use what you have. That's what it's all about. So there we go. We've got our beautiful, beautiful yum balls. Oh, I wished you could taste them because I've already had a taste. I had a taste before I started rolling. And they are pretty darn good. And they'll even be nicer still when they go into the fridge. So just choose what you've got and make your yum balls. I do have a download that has many different Bliss ball recipes if you do need to follow a recipe. But what I'm trying to tell you is you don't really need to with these little babies. Look at that. How beautiful are they? Big love and bacteria.